how come you now came about the word SiteBoy and startup? It doesn't correlate it.
Yeah, so basically, at the core of me, I always say I'm a storyteller. So aside being a storyteller, I'm also an entrepreneur. Those are the two core truths that I know I cannot deny anywhere I am.
What's the difference between dilutive and non-dilutive funds? So I want to clarify that.
For dilutive funding, it requires that, as a case study now, that okay, for example, that okay, maybe a certain founder in Nigeria was given maybe 20,000 USD to build, maybe okay, during this application process, we said, oh, I'm in the ideation pre-MVP phase of my startup idea. I need to get to rate this as a proceed to build this and this and ship my MVP out, and then if you go and check the track record of people who did VIMP, Venture Management Program, I can count quite a lot of Inyaboyeji, Osuntijani, Bode Maxwell Akinyemi. I think he's alumni president of JVIMP, and then there is Akim Akiode.
So one thing that I still find it hard to believe is looking at you and having a conversation with you and looking even how you dress. I still find it hard to believe that you are a Yoruba person. Like, which tribe are you really from? Just say the truth. Be honest.
Yoruba ni me. I'm from Ogun State. Adodota local government. You are.
Okay. You are not Fulani. No, Hausa.
For real.
Please zoom into the camera and tell me this person is a Yoruba.
I'm Yoruba now. Yoruba ni me. I'm from Ogun West Central District. I'm from Adodota Federal Constituency. So I'm from Adodota local government area as well.
Well,
I can take it to our family compound. Odunaye is a well-known family in Ota.
I would.
OC.
I would.
Especially.
I have to be there.
Even if you ask His Royal Highness or Balanlege. Yes, His Royal Highness, it would.
Actually, I would accept a little bit because I do face a little bit because some people mistake me as an Hausa person because of how I look. So I would accept a bit.
Quite a lot. Let me even give you a very funny scenario. In 2017, I was in Kaduna. I thought I had a career in the military.
That is still fine.
I mean, I was there during local government documentation and everything. They had to bring in someone from Ogun State, like an official from local government in Ogun State, to come and certify that I'm truly this brigadier general. They were colonel and brigadier general. They were saying it's a lie that I'm not. That they are not disputing that what they say. They tell us the truth by documentation. But by birth, origination, and everything, you are what? I'm Yoruba. I say until they brought this official from local government, they had to speak our dialects. I was like, I told him that this is our house. These are my uncles. These are my roots. These are our farms. This place. The Anglican Cathedral in Ota today. Now my great grandfather give them land, made them build. Now the primary school we did the Anglican. My papa go. I will see quarters in your family compound. Ilesi Ota, that's our ruling royal family compound that is there. Meet the former previous family of the royal family, Oyede family. They know us. The current Olanlege Okun, the second, His Royal Highness. Wow. He knows us as well. So everybody, as long as you are originally from there, you know your roots. I mean, that is where I'm from.
Another question. Is it because people have been having so much doubt that you know your roots so much? Because if I'm asked the same question, I cannot answer it as deeply as you just answered.
So basically, it's just, so while growing up, they always tell us that you have to know your roots, you have to know all these details. And then I think while growing up, everybody's asking, because when I was younger, I used to look like Chinese. Even my uncle used to call me Chinese. So, and I was very light-skinned. Now, Sapa and sight, almost black like this. So, but then when people keep on asking, so I was like, okay. Most of the time, when I'm tired, I just said, I'm a Nigerian. And even when I want to catch crews, like maybe they're having a conversation, I just say, I I am from Niger State, Chanchaga local government. So and
Take
Chanchaga,
that again.
I am from Niger State, Chanchaga local government, Mina. So Chanchaga Chanchaga is like Mina. It's like Lagos. Anybody can come to Lagos. Anybody can claim there. So it's like a general place. Anybody can come and there and claim there. So and if I want to like play more pranks on people, I can say I'm from Nasarawa as well. So I'll just call one local government Lefia. I'm from Lefia, Nasarawa. So
But your Hausa accent is coming out.
so it took time. So I think I am quite natural to Hausa. Even I picked up faster and I could even speak faster with the accent and all. So I don't know.
In case of gym mutation.
Maybe gym mutation. I be one of a kind like that too. So
Wow.
but that's just it.
That's interesting. Amo. So now that we've believed or we've accepted that you are a Yoruba person, so what do you do?
Okay. I am a venture builder. So I work with startups to build from ideation to scale. So basically, what I do works from when they conceive the idea. I have an idea, I have this, I work with them through validation, through development, the building process, getting product market fit, getting funding, and all. So that's just basically what I do. So I'm a venture builder. So the whole life cycle of the product or the startup or the entrepreneur, I work with them to achieve that. So I currently work with a venture support platform startup, and basically what I basically do with startup, and I work with portfolios in my startup range from startup founders from Morocco, Kenya, Nigeria, and African countries like that. So that's just basically I provide services to them, help them secure funding, investor relations, and the rest of them. So evaluation, valuation, and the rest of it. So basically my work revolves around that. But all those ones is just English. I'm a site boy. I'm a builder. I go to site and I report to site manager. Okay. So that's just basically it.
Is that different from being a growth specialist or being a business developer? Is that
it's
a venture builder, or it's like encompasses everything?
Yes. So venture building encompasses more than just being a growth marketer or product manager or business developer. It encompasses more than that because it requires strategy. It requires product development. It requires understanding of the market and then venture platform support. So venture platform support, advisory, and the rest of it. Because basically, you have to understand the founder. You have to understand the founder. You have to understand the product. You have to then craft strategy. How do they get product market fit? How do they get strategic support that they need? So, and then funding. So, and then funding can come in different forms, dilutive, non-dilutive, and the rest of it. The most popular one is everybody fund, VC fund. Everybody wants to collect VC money. VC money is good, but this is not a financial advice anyway. I'm just saying, but there are other options that people can also explore. And these are one of the things that startups that I work with, I try to talk and encourage them to try and explore other options of funding. There are grants. These are non-dilutive. There are a lot of money out there that people don't even know about. I have access to, due to my nature of work, I have access to over 1,000 funding opportunities, like in a database every year. That's opportunities coming from. While some are like dilutive, but not as dilutive as that of venture capital VC funds. So, but then just want to know is what's an example of that is a non-dilutive, that is this Tony Elumelu TF. It's another option as an entrepreneur. Fund grants. Just go and build things,
Okay.
and they would,
They will just support you
yeah, they will
throughout it.
support
And yeah.
you, and
So,
also
what's the difference between dilutive and non-dilutive funds? So, I want to clarify that because I think from the way you explained it now, dilutive is when you are probably giving out some percentage
equity.
equity.
Yes. So
Okay.
you actually understand it. So just to put more context, for dilutive funding, it requires that you give your equity in exchange
For the
for the
amount,
funding
yeah.
that you are getting into your business. So that's just how it is. Say I'm giving out, how the regular VC
Yeah,
comes in,
Shark
Shark
Tanks,
Tanks, and every other one.
Make
20% equity for $3 million,
Yeah.
10% equity for $1,000. So that's just basically, so you have to give out a certain equity in your business to whoever is providing you the funds,
Funds.
yeah, for your
Okay.
business. So and the non-dilutive is the opposite of it.
Just
Just get your funding to grow and scale.
no look back.
You look back, so there are a lot of people who just take grants and all, and then they don't get to implement and utilize these funds
The way
judiciously.
it's
So
supposed to be
it's
utilized.
it's taking a toll on the integrity and credibility of other founders, especially early stage founders and maybe first time founders too, because the what's the right word to use now? The
Credibility.
should I use I don't want to use the word credibility, I don't want to use the word integrity. The impression that they have is certain founders from certain areas or regions in maybe Africa. Let's use case study Nigeria. I'm not saying this is Nigeria how it is,
Yeah, I
but I'm
understand.
saying that as a case study now. That okay,
Yeah.
for example, that okay, maybe a certain founder in Nigeria was given maybe 20,000 USD to build, maybe okay, during his application process, we started I am in the ideation pre MVP phase of my startup idea. I need to get to rate this as a proceed to build this and this and ship my MVP out, and then they give you this particular funding, and then you divert it into something else. So it does not speak well of the
For
prosperity of other African young founders. That's because my own major focus is on African founders. So yeah,
founders.
because I currently am in a VC fellowship program, VC Labs. So one of my investment thesis, one of my assignment project I'm working on, my investment thesis basically is to focus on early stage underrepresented founders building amazing stuff in deep tech, SME infrastructure, B2Bs, SAS. So that's just basically it. And when I look at it and then look at the challenge, some of the challenges that they have, it's basically the credibility that someone has done something that is not
That is heinous.
cannot be well spoken of, and then it spoils the reputation, spoils the credibility of every other founder that comes from that particular region. Yeah, that's just it.
That's very sad, and I think I'm also feeling it.
I
Being
mean,
being a founder, I'm also feeling that. Yeah.
so I was talking to one of my friend. Yeah, he's my friend. He has three startups, Obscura and the rest of it. Yeah. So I was talking about raising funding and then doing some introductions, and all. So, and I was telling him that you had two disadvantage. Number one, first time founder. Number two, you are in your early stage. Number three, in fact, even three. Number three, you're from Africa. I mean, who is going to put in and is looking towards raising millions of dollars actually? So, and he has early traction. He has his MVP, and I'm like, you have three disadvantage already. So, if you be looking towards VC funds, but then I believe that what he has built is something very, very amazing. He's building an infrastructure. I mean, it's been an infrastructure for Web3, verification and the rest of them on Web3 is Obscura, that's the name. So he's really building something amazing, and they have something going on currently. But then when the time is right, you guys will see them out there. But then because of his niche, Web3, you're early stage founder, first time founder, you're from Africa, you're from Nigeria. I mean, a lot of odds are not like aligned, but then I believe that with the way that other people who are in the ecosystem, who are in the VC space, who are also venture builders, are now pushing the narrative. I mean, let's tell our own story. There is no place in the world where we will not find the bad guys. There are always bad guys everywhere. But irrespective, there are still like good guys doing something great and amazing and legit, and willing to use any type of funding that they get to actually build products or solutions that translates to result and make life easy for people. And that's the pure truth.
I see why you are really a SiteBoy now. I'm getting to understand why you're a SiteBoy. But it's just amazing how you came about the word SiteBoy. Like, you are a builder. I can even feel the aura of that builder, of that startup, someone that is well versatile when it comes to starting businesses and startups in general. But how come you now came about the word SiteBoy and startup? It doesn't correlate. At the first look, it doesn't correlate. But how do you came about the word itself?
Yeah, so basically, at the core of me, I always say I'm a storyteller. So aside being a storyteller, I'm also an entrepreneur. Those are the two core truths that I know I cannot deny anywhere I am. So even if Elon Musk is employing me today, I will tell you at my core, I'm a storyteller and I'm an entrepreneur. So do with that any information. I do that with information what you want. So yeah. So SiteBoy came about as, I mean, I don't have the money yet. I'm still working. I'm still in the early days, and everybody has this trenches. If you are still working on weekends, you're a laborer. I'm like, so if you're working with a laborer, I'm a SiteBoy now. So I just came out, okay, I'm a SiteBoy. So, and what do people do in site? They build amazing structures, they build infrastructures, they build buildings, they build a lot of things. So basically it makes sense to me to just when I look at the amazing things that they do. So I have in my early days, while I was in uni, I have experience following someone I know to sites. So we used to do site management. I started my early project management days. Yeah, so I used to do construction, project management, and site supervision. So I quite know more about site work. I know so the columns, the beams, the foundation, the type of cement I use, the right mixture, the sizes of blocks, how you arrange them, what stage comes after the next, all those kind of things. So just pure storytelling. Learn from this, and then I just came up with a site manager. So in this, when you see me post something, I call myself SiteBoy, site manager. So okay, so just letting this out there anyways. So site manager basically can mean anybody and anyone. It could be life, it could be nature, it could be someone I respect, it's just someone I learn from. And then the way I write it to make it make sense is just what is writing without some little sprinkle of fiction and imagination. Yeah, so just created that character of site manager, and then the other characters we work together in site. So that's just basically it.
Wow, I love that. I love the idea that you mirrored the construction, and then when you say construction, even from the word, you can use construction for anything. Yeah, you can use building for anything. I build a startup, I build my house, I build a device. You can literally build anything.
Life,
so
clothes,
it's like you are mirroring that concept onto specifically building startup and then mirroring it to life generally. I think that makes sense. I think
Thank you very much.
SiteBoy 2.0.
Jazakallah khairan.
I'm going to be SiteBoy 2.0.
If you do SiteBoy, you suffer.
Normally.
You work on weekends, though.
Normal. Me, sir, I don't think I can call myself a SiteBoy at the moment. I think I'll better be a
See,
laborer.
God, you said, laborer, I can know.
I have to be a laborer. I work around the clock, so I think that would be better for me. I know you might still have some time that you can rest a bit or chill.
Rest.
But me, I work like I work.
There's no rest for
clock.
SiteBoy, yo.
I'm a laborer.
There's no rest for SiteBoy.
Okay, so we've gotten where the idea of being a SiteBoy comes from, right? I think you just completed your MBA, or is it a mini MBA, or what was it about?
Oh, it's a mini MBA, venture management program at Lagos Business School.
Wow.
Sponsored by Junior Achievement Nigeria in partnership with Lagos Business School and some other corporate sponsors.
Oh, yeah, that's intense. But my own idea is, does it really matter having an MBA? Because when you go online or when you go outside to the world, I think there's a projection about having an MBA and, should I say, an expectation of when you have an MBA that you are someone big. But me personally, I see it just as a qualification. It doesn't really matter. So from your own experience building and getting the MBA, does it really matter?
So I've been in rooms, I've sat at tables where this kind of conversation comes up. So MBA, it's a certification, it's a qualification, and it's a matter of choice. There are people who get MBA just because they did what's it called, business administration in their BSc, and just masters, let's go and do business administration too. And then there are people who did MBA because they needed the knowledge that comes from MBA. And then there are some people who have MBA because of the social or the how will I put it, the tag, the reference, the recognition, the social standard that if you have an MBA, then you are this. They are just like the three categories of people that I know do have MBA. But whatever choice that each person, any individual decides, to have, thought about and decided to take an MBA, it is fine. So personally for me, my interest in MBA and my experience with the mini MBA I was opportune to, is basically because of my interest in entrepreneurship. So, and the purpose of this MBA is to raise the next young leaders of the business world. I remember the words of one of our faculty. He called us young executives. So he said, the moment you are here, and then the crop of young amazing people that I was in same class with was very out there. Like I was just about wow. I was not in the wrong room. It's one of the best decisions, best things that happened to my young adult life. So I mean, when the kind of experience that comes with it, when people talk, it look like wow, so someone is building this, someone is working in this, someone is, I mean, it's people I did class of 2025 with were not just people who came because the whole process was even rigorous. So you cannot come and do it because for doing sake. You are doing it because you really wanted it and you needed it. And it's going to translate to results for you. If you go and check the track record of people who did VIMP, a venture management program, I can count quite a lot of Inyaboyeji. You know Inyaboyeji?
Yeah, sure.
Bosun Tijani. Yeah. Quite a lot of other amazing people. There's a trajectory. There's Bode Maxwell Akinyemi. I think he's alumni president of JVIMP. And then there is Akim Akiode. He leads growth at What's the
Yeah,
place?
I know him.
You Verify.
Yeah,
There are a lot of, so those are actually like two people that motivated me. Like I saw that, VIMP back in 2021. I was like, okay, I'm also going to like do all I can to get into this program, and then they've been really really supportive during my my application process, asking them questions. And also, if you look at the trajectory of the people and then the results, the impacts they are making out there, they are solving real world problems. So, I mean, they are very much interested in business, in entrepreneurship, and making life better. So that's just it. And then it resonates personally with me and mirrors every reason why I would want an MBA and why I applied for mini MBA as well.
Wow. So I think you've kind of changed my perspective a little bit when it comes to MBA, because I personally I'm also a business person. I'm also an entrepreneur. In fact, I took some, quote unquote online MBA courses. So, but those are just for the knowledge, not for the certification or not. I did not have. It was a personal learning, so I did not have anybody I could connect with. But even so, the knowledge I gained from those courses, there was a time I was taking those courses like eating different apples. But for me, I was just taking it that, okay, let me just take it. But there was a particular time that I now had to enroll in one, like, should I say, common MBA course, not only me that was taking the course. And I had to, should I say, I had to stop because I was expecting more from what I was going to learn in regards to MBA. But when I started taking the course with others and I saw that, wow, these are things that I know before, so I had to like just uh, relegate myself away from the course. So, but now that you mentioned it, that then you put it in a way that seems interesting, I might have to look into the
I mean,
LBS and
yeah. So, for MBA are just like like a launch pad for you as someone who is interested in leading businesses.
yeah.
So basically, if you have an MBA, you are believed to be equipped with managerial level skills, executive level skills, because you will learn business ethics, strategic thinking, management, leadership, ethics. It's quite loaded. Your business acumen is going. Your your what's it called? Your level of thinking,
Mhm.
problem solving,
Yeah.
the kind of network you also build. You know, the network you also build also matters. That's why some people are more particular about the schools.
Yeah, you
That
do.
they do their MBA. So you hear people say they are going to London School of Economics, they are going to Lagos Business School,
Yeah.
they are going to this, they are going to that. So it is the crop of people who actually come to class
Yes.
to do MBA, and then so MBA is there's no way we can put out the prestige that comes with MBA. There's something called social standard. The
Yes.
social society has placed a standard on
Yeah,
MBA. So when
definitely.
they say MBA, everybody wants to listen to you. They don't want to listen to you because they know that if you've gone through an MBA, whether you um
Skip class.
actually skip the classes, so you just bought a certificate or not, but they know that with an MBA comes certain level of information, certain level of access, certain level of so
People
it
that
is
you've worked with.
that expectations are always there. So when someone that has an MBA, you want to listen to the person that, okay, what does this person has to offer? This person is a potential, that person is an executive. Do you understand? So, and then MBA also has grades. We have executive MBA and then we have regular MBA.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
saying about that.
So and then for I think for regular MBAs, those are for people with years of I mean 3 to 5 years experience, and then for those who are doing executive MBA, those are senior level directors, C level, executives, founders, and the rest of them. So Those are like the two categories
So
that
do you take the regular before you take the executive, or it depends on when you are taking it?
it depends on when you are taking it.
Okay.
Yeah, and as such, your curriculum would be more robust and advanced, and the network of classmates
That
you would
you are
also
going
have
to,
will also be
yeah.
different. 3 to 5 years of experience. All of you are just young adults.
Yeah, yeah.
People with 8 years, 10 years,
15
15 years,
years,
20
yeah,
level of years of experience.
decades.
You are sitting with bank managers. You are sitting with people that are making decisions.
Yeah.
So for those kind of people, it is not, it is a thing of they are going there to build their network. They are going there to call, hi Shola, how are you doing? I'm sending somebody to your company now to drop a letter. Kindly help me attend to it and revert. Thank you very much. Do you understand? So that's the kind of they are building access for you. So
Okay.
that's just it. But for other younger people, I mean, everybody is still
Building together.
trying to
Yeah,
find their
we're all
own
still
age,
laborers.
transitioning from people who do MBA, no be laborer.
So you
Senior man.
So you don't cast
Senior
yourself like
man.
that. You know be laborer.
I be laborer.
You don't MBA now.
I be laborer. It's still a minute. It's still a minute. I could have, I had the opportunity of doing an MBA starting this year. Yeah, this year. But I applied for a full scholarship anyways, and then I was given partial scholarship, about 70%. And I feel and I believe that I worth the whole 100%. So I will send them mail, and they've exhausted the quota for. I mean, so if you find me worthy of giving me 70% of the scholarship, then why not give me the whole 100% of the scholarship? It means I'm doing something, and then it's credible enough. It's interesting enough for me. So I believe I worth the. It's not about pride or overblown self importance or anything. It's just because I know my worth. That's just it. I know that you gave me 70%. You didn't give me 10. You didn't give me
20.
you didn't give me 20. You didn't give me 50. You gave me 70. So why not just give me the whole 100%? So I mean, that was how I just spended, and then I picked up another postgraduate. So I mean, for that one, we'll probably see that one on LinkedIn. If I eventually complete it, because it is all of my colleagues. I mean, so maybe it's challenging. It's quite interesting, and maybe because of my background of biological sciences, I didn't do finance, I didn't do quantitative, sciences or anything. So it's been quite challenging. Anytime I sit down with it like this and I see assignment, I see task, I see classes, and it's very rigorous. But then if I eventually complete it, but then I hope I will complete it, inshallah.
Inshallah, you're going to complete it. So being whether you call it mini MBA, I still see it as an MBA.
And the MBA candidate.
Yeah, MBA
Thank
candidate.
you, sir.
So being an MBA candidate and being the person that I've worked with a lot of startup and seen a lot of things with a lot of experience, what are the 5 major challenges that you could say startups in Nigeria or in Africa are facing?
Number one, in no particular order anyways, startups are facing quite some challenge. From my own experience, from articles, from conversations, and my involvement with early stage startup founders, because I am actively involved in ecosystem building. Basically, I have access to a lot of founders, accelerator programs, and also, and we converse. I read conversations and all. So, but I will just summarize it like key things. Number one, everybody knows it. I want everybody knows it. Fulus. Kudi ego, money, access to capital. Capital access, funding is a very, very, very like big challenge. There are a lot of early stage founders that are building amazing things out of Nigeria, out of Africa, and then to get funding for them to scale. There are some. So most of the times our attention are more focused on startup founders building stuff in digital products. There are others building hardwares. These people are the people like feeling the heat the most.
Most, yes.
Nobody wants to put in money into hardware. They will tell you before this one, that one, that one, that one, before they get back their return. This one,
Yeah, exactly.
more. It is very, 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 very tough. That's why most times we don't get people to build hardwares and all. I think the only people that are making headway are these two guys, Maduka and Terra. What's their name? This should be Terra Optics before Terra Industries. These guys building drone for security and surveillance.
Okay, I think I know that guy.
Yeah, Terra Industries. So they were the only. I think they're one of the first few guys that are notable to have built, something, and then got funding. So
Only.
it is very, very challenging for people who are building like hardware and the rest. Everybody just focus on software, digital product, SAS, everybody, app, mobile app, software. For people, I really like feel for them. I believe that if we can tilt towards more support,
Was
yes, people
think-
building hardware products, people building robotics, people building,
they were manufacturing.
yeah. So now those are one of the challenges that they have. Nobody wants to give them the whole what's this thing called, their attention, the right support that they needed, to build prototypes, build the MVPs and all. It's hardware is one of the
Crazy.
most time consuming, challenging, quite difficult, rather than digital software. Run line of codes. Now they're even
Vibe
AI
coding.
vibe coding now, everybody and then cloud regenerates it. Another vibe coder, Replito, Fire, whatever, all of them, Lovable, they will generate it for you. And then, but then people who are building hardware, people who are building robotics, people who are building, physical things, it is quite, challenging for them. And one other thing that I've heard is access to talent at the early stage, right talent, experienced talents.
The right team.
Yeah, it can break and make a startup rather. So if you're a founder in your early stage, you assembled like an Avenger, everybody will buy your dream first 3 months. After first 3 months, if you call for meeting, out of 15 people, only 3 people will show. Only you and your 3 co-founders. Because of the kind of how would I put it? I don't want to say the kind of country. I want to say the kind of environment that we find ourselves. Right talents, experienced senior hires. They don't want to build with you,
Definitely.
except they are the owner of their startup.
Yes.
They will tell you my time. They rather put in their time, and I mean someone that is working for another company, another startup that is paying him or her 6 figures, and then all you have to sell to this person is vision and equity, a document. So when they tell you this, I'm like, it's not even when I tell you this. I'm talking for a personal. It's a personal pain point. I mean, I have experienced this, and when they will tell you, I have my own full-time job, so they cannot give you the same level of commitment that they give to their paid full-time job to you. So they only get to attend to you at their own free time. So there are a lot of junior talents, but then the junior talents might not be able to build the level of solutions that you want to build. And building with junior talents, if you are now quite not technically savvy, it will take a lot of years, take a lot of time. So there are only 2 ways about it. Either you go and learn the skill yourself, or you go and source for the funding somewhere else and hire someone that can scale it and ship it. And a lot of people will say there's now vibe coding, Vibe coding will only build you landing page.
Vibe coding can only build you, because being a software developer, I have an experience in that, because when you vibe code, yes, you can ship early, but then you can, quote unquote, never ever scale with a vibe coded app. You can never scale with that.
No, at back of my mind, I always say that vibe coding is smart. It is early validation.
Yeah,
FCO, okay,
yeah,
with this
yeah.
fly, with this not fly, with this, let's take this off, let's take that off,
Exactly.
let people test it out and everything. But then, always I look at my say vibe coding is for landing page. Just for I have an
Just a wait
idea.
list.
Let me show you. Join our wait list. Exactly. Join our wait list. It's for join our wait list.
Yeah.
So basically, access to that particular talent and senior experienced talent would not, want to go through the hell and all with you.
Yeah.
You would hear a lot of founders. This is when they have small money. That's why most of them have already like worked somewhere, have funding somewhere, and then they come to hire, and then they go all in. Do you understand? And then they build. So, but for someone that is just trying to bootstrap on your own, and then all you have to sell to them is the vision. When we raise our fund
and PowerPoint,
and then PowerPoint present. Oh, you call that joke? PowerPoint founders, PowerPoint founders, and then you have to sell the equity. You take 30%. I tell you 30% does not pay my bills. 30% equity will not even do data for me. That's what they will tell you. So that's another challenge that startup founders that I've spoken to, and I believe that any founder that listens to this will also can relate to it. And then one other thing is regulatory and policy. Every day it is one change of policy to another. Tax tomorrow, this one next tomorrow. I mean, I tell in when I develop curriculum for accelerators, I always ensure that after we've done the whole necessary first 3 weeks about your product, your founder, your co-founder, your startup, evaluation. So note, evaluation is there from valuation. So evaluation is there from valuation. Valuation is your worth,
financial value,
your worth of your startup. And then evaluation is the tear down of your startup, of your idea, your team, your competence, your business model, your market, your product market fit, your scaling. So it is like a holistic tiered analysis and results.
Yes,
so I tell startup founders, and I work with, and I said, if you can take your time to do your evaluation, I mean, if you do evaluation, you are like 10 steps ahead of every other founders that you're with. So back to where I was. So I try as much as possible like that they talk about regulatory and legal and all, regulatory compliance and all. If you understand this, it is easier for you. You are in the know faster than your contemporaries, your competitors out there, and every other founder that are building. This one tomorrow, this one today. I mean, you should do your regulatory, you should do your compliance. So this, what was it called? This volatility that comes with this, all of this CBN comes with, if you're building a fintech, health tech, and the rest of it. The volatility that comes with these policies and all, it causes disruption, causes instability for innovation and all to thrive. And another challenge that I know that that I've heard startup founders talk about and complain about is I've spoken about funding,
talent.
I've spoken about talent,
policies.
I've spoken about infrastructure. It's another one. Infrastructure and connected. Yeah. So I mean, imagine you wanted to build so when I mean infrastructure now, talking about all of the necessary technology that requires you to build and to build your product.
Okay. Sorry to cut you short. Do you mean more like of a support environment?
So both support and that of the technological infrastructure.
Okay.
So now, underrepresented startup founders in different areas, apart from founders who are like in Lagos, who have access to different hubs, different,
Yeah.
a
People
lot
like
of
us.
other people
Like us.
people like
You are not there. You are in Lagos. So don't talk. People like us. Yeah.
so a lot of other founders like that. So let's put into perspective. Let me just call random location. Just give me a random location anywhere, any city.
I go do.
Ijebu-Ode
Ijebu-Ode.
or Gombe. Let's use Gombe. I mean, for startup founder in Gombe, you really find it hard, to have access to some of these facilities, hubs where you could, work, build things, get, rights, mentorship, incubation, all of those kind of things that they enjoy in Lagos, Abuja, and every other big cities out there. So, and then that is about the support. Now, when it comes to the real infrastructures that we have, how many of us have cloud facility in Africa? You do not. Everybody depends on. Remember the standards there, Cloudflare. You will refresh tire. We don't have. So that's why I am much more interested in founders and startups who are building infrastructure. We need to start building.
Can build upon.
It's very interesting to know that Flutterwave has their own infrastructure, Paga has their own Paga engine. This is for fintech. Well, when it comes to Web3, do we have any? When it comes to cloud and the rest of it, do we have any built by Africans for Africans? No, we do not. So if they increase AWS subscription now, everybody will start panicking. If Cloudflare withdraws their services from Africa, imagine that maybe someone just posted one particular tweet now, and then Trump says every infrastructure, every startup rendering their services into Nigeria, they are withdrawing their services. How do we do it? Almost every product out there would not go live. They would they'll be like, they just off light. Off light. They'll be like, go off light. So infrastructure, connectivity, this is 2026. This is 21st century. We are still struggling with electricity. This for podcast purpose, but we started with solar inverter. Nobody brought lights. You can relate.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you have to start calculating. That's one of the conversation we had before the podcast. I was saying, you come like this, you start thinking. You have to start putting NEPA or IBDC or AKEDC or any ABEDC inside how you want to. You wake up in the morning. Okay, NEPA will bring light by this time. They will take it by this time. So let me postpone cooking to this time, so that when they take off the light, I'll finish cooking. So by the time they bring the light, I'll come back to my system. Let me reserve my battery so that I can do this meeting. Why should we be factoring basic things?
In fact, if you are launching a business,
basic necessity I'm not even going to business. So let's talk what is personal to us first, because those are facing a lot. Exactly. Do you know? So business operations is another thing that most people don't pay attention to. Exactly. And they burn a lot on operations.
Like a lot.
I know that, man. If you have a business and then you are buying fuel every day for 30 days, you are buying fuel of say you're buying, maybe in a day you're buying fuel of 5,000 naira. 5,000 or 3,000 naira. How many liters is that?
Exactly, because when we had our business,
let's just say
we were spending nothing less than 30,000 naira per day on fuel.
On fuel. This is even personal for you. Should I continue, or you punch me before the end of this? I mean, so you can even relate to this particular one, Abi. Imagine having a workspace where you have to run.
Exactly.
And then how many people are coming in? What is the daily profit? At the end of the month, how much have you spent on electricity? How much have you spent on data, other utilities, people cleaning, waste management, water bill, every other thing, and then how much is the profit?
Then you still have
for
to
rent, salaries. operations. See, I used to tell people that it's as a startup founder, it's nice, but if you do not work very hard, you would you would you would raise fund. That's another thing now. You will raise fund and burn it on operations. I just cannot mention names of startups that I know. I found out that I know. They burnt everything on operations.
But is that due to lack of managerial skills,
Ha! Is it
or it's just because
managerial?
of the environment that you have to develop more than average kind of managerial skills to survive in such an environment?
So yeah, it is managerial. It is also like intertwined to other things as well. It's a lot of factors. But at the end of the day, if the Englishman would say it's still managerial. So I think it's more of like it's business acumen, basically, because business operations is one of the key things that they
Teaching
will,
MBA.
you need to understand it. They can only give you the whole, what's it called,
Blueprint.
but deep down you need to understand your own terrain. You need to understand how it goes. Then start making strategic decisions. Sustainable. Should I buy generator or invest in solar? If you buy generator is cheap. Solar is expensive.
Yeah.
But in the long run, you are not buying fuel, you are not doing repair, you are not contributing to the smoke in the environment.
For us, it was about nothing less than on the first touch. If you want to buy for, let's say, 700,000 or 800,000 to buy generator rather, and if you want to make the soda, you would spend about minimum of, let's say, 5 million. But on the long run, for a year, when you do soda, you spend 7 million for 2 years. But fuel, my boy, you will spend nothing less than that 7 million that you don't want to spend. You spend nothing less than 12 million.
So it is now being having this at the back of your mind, taking strategic, decisions that
Yeah.
okay, outweighing this that if I go and buy generator, I'll spend more. But to set up the solar in the beginning is quite expensive.
Yeah.
So now I think there are some people advising people now to do modular setups, bit by bit. Add one battery, scale up to 2 kVA, scale up to 3 kVA, scale up to 5
Just like
kVA,
the
10
SiteBoy.
kVA. So that particular one is easier for a company to. But then that's so back to where we were coming from before we branch this one briefly. This is 21st century. We hope and we pray that Allah in His infinite mercy help us, because now some people say it's not prayer, it's about doing the right thing. I mean, if God does not put the love of the people in the heart of the leaders, they would only suffer, they will only try. They'll be like Yakubu, they will manage, but they will not die. So we are not dead, but we are managing. You see that manage? I don't know the statement that I don't like to hear. You see, manage, shall manage it. You manage no need.
Kubu manage.
So I mean, if we have good, responsive leadership, power should not. This is 2026. In January alone, how many times is our? We're not going back to 2025. January alone. This is February. Grid collapsed like 2 times in space of 1 month. Ha! I mean, I want to use this opportunity to pray for Nigeria and pray for our leaders that God would put the love of the citizens, of the masses in their hearts. They should sleep one day and then wake up and decide to do the right thing. Billahi Azim, solving power issue in Nigeria is not a hard thing. I saw one news last week. Aso Rock is planning on moving in from national grid. Aso Rock presidency, moving in from national grid. I know that one day, inshallah, I'll also be in that position of leadership of the country. But then it is even if they want to do a backup supply, it's not something. There's nothing honorable about it.
It's not honorable.
Putting it in print media. Aso Rock has been cut off. Aso Rock is owing ele- electricity distribution company. Aso Rock is
Oh
going
my
off
God.
grid. You hear universities and then
Never.
Disco electricity distribution company fighting over
Over bill.
a bill. So billions of naira has not been paid. You hear in Abuja ministry and then electricity distribution company, they are dragging themselves. I mean, this is not the time and moment. We could just go on ranting and ranting, but why I believe and I praise that God Almighty would allow us to have a better Nigeria. So now talking about, I've spent so much time talking about infrastructure, internet. It's another thing. If I ask you how much do you use for internet subscription in a month, I don't want to know. But all of us know, even you watching this
Yeah.
podcast, now how much you are spending on internet every day.
In
If
fact,
you convert it,
Nigeria is one of the countries with the most expensive internet.
so
I have friends in India. They'll be like in Egypt. They'll be like, "Wow, you spend so much of that." Even converting it, they'll be like, "Oh, you put now? Internet really low." Then
I mean,
we have what is
and it's very sad that you are in meeting. Imagine you as a founder trying to do introductory meeting with your your investor,
Can you
and
hear
you're doing,
me?
hello, can you hear me? Network, and you're disconnected. Would they even take it serious? They will say, I mean, it's an impression.
Yeah.
It's an impression. Like, you are battling with infrastructure, internet, and then you want to build the next big thing that is going to. I mean,
Even thank God for Starlink.
so it is. So one of the issues why I would say that we need to build our own infrastructure. We have brilliant
So we'll go
minds.
find
We have lot of people with potentials. But then everybody would prefer to go outside of the country to go and build and do amazing things. I know a lot of Nigerian developers, tech talents working in all these big companies, from Postman to Amazon to Google to Meta, Microsoft. And I mean, and you'd wonder that why is this happening? Why can't we
build here.
build stuffs in Africa?
I think
And then if you now see people building stuff in Africa, no support. That's one of the things that's like one of the challenges that support. It is one of those. I mean, so it is one of those challenges. It is a list that is unending. You cannot just exhaust it. You can only put them into like categories. Like, okay, let's box this into category. There are a lot of challenges that startup founders also face. Market fragmentation is another one. I mean, people, these services are there. How many people want to? This is a podcast. I mean, you would think twice before putting a subscription on any digital product.
yeah.
Purchasing power
You have
is
to
getting lower by the day.
you have to be if you are
Now
building
you are
you have to
building.
build for
You
the
have to
lower
build.
people.
You have to launch with freemium,
Yeah, free to
and then now. So till when do we want to keep on building freemium in Africa? You see, if you go on a product hunt or you go on or go on other platforms where you see startup founders shipping and all, you hear in 24 hours, so people have generated so revenue in 24 hours, 1,000K of dollars. And I say, I know a startup founder in 3 years has not made one. The option of you put Stripe, put OPay, put Flutterwave, put Paystack, they will not put their card. They will, even between me and you, we know that you think like boy, you will say yeah. Even startups working, other startups, they will say, yeah, CTO and CFO and the CEO saying, my MC level, are there no other free alternative options in meetings? You are building products that you want people to pay for, and you're also looking for products or services that you will not pay for that are free. I mean, so that's another challenge: market fragmentation and the rest. So people are people people are out there that want to use your services, but they cannot pay for it. Purchasing power is very, very low. Then market dynamics. What the customer wants today is not what the customer wants tomorrow. That's why you should not. That's why some people come and say, don't spend too much time on your development.
Yeah.
To build, use vibe coding and push it out and everything. A lot of those things can be sweet, and but then
Practically.
tomorrow I can wake up and then want to do this. Tomorrow I can decide that I'm interested in another thing. Do you understand? So those are not the so they just cap it up. I just for the like challenges that I have first hand experience, hearing conversation, and I've read about that startup founders face basically in Nigeria and in Africa.
So that is a hell lot of challenges that we are facing as builders in Africa, and I hope and I pray as you did that we, especially the infrastructure, the internet. Even when I'm doing meetings, I'll be like, I'm very much grateful because where I work, once they can hear me, I think it's having network issues.
Imagine a global talent is having internet issue. Global talent,
Yeah.
talent.
So
Well,
it's really devastating, but I don't think the only thing we can do is just to see how we can fix it around ourselves and then continue to pray and hope things get better because, bro, it's a lot. Now, talking about the challenges as well, I you once mentioned about the reputation that Africans and Nigerians are having when it comes to founders and building startups and collecting funds from angel investors or venture capitals. So, what the idea of investor fraud and what experiences have you had any personal experience or which one some of the experience or the stories that we had that they take the money from the collect the money from the investors and then divert it not even to another business but to personal gains, to lifestyle, to clubbing. And this, as you mentioned, is telling a lot on the integrities of startup founders in general. So what is your experience with investor fraud, and what solution do you think we can use to curb that?
So basically, I cannot say I have any first-hand experience with investor fraud, but we've heard stories, we've read articles, we've read investigative reports, and the rest of it, social media call outs, and then So I like I've said, there are people who will discredit the young, hardworking, talented, dedicated, committed, brilliant founders out of Nigeria, out of Africa. And then it is very sad and it is when you hear this kind of stories, investors generally from any of the any category that they can be angel, be it VC, they are now very, very careful in investing in startups coming from Nigeria and Africa. I mean, you see people raise funds from VCs, and then next thing you are seeing is
Tambo.
buying cars. There was one particular video I saw. It was Instagram late last year, Q4 of last year. This particular guy bought was it Mercedes, one AMG Mercedes like this, and he was doing lifestyle, running after his car, and I was like, hey. People were dragging in like, oh, investor funds. I mean, I'm not here to put any comment. I'm just, like, these are the kind of, news and drags you'll find on Twitter or social media and all. So if it were to be true, if it were not to be true, I mean, that is their decision. That is what they thought best, and know best to do. And then everybody's responsible for their decisions and then whatever do. But then in the long run, it discredits the good young people who are trying to raise funds. So investor fraud is real. There are people who have raised funds who have diverted it into building something else, and then you hear founder paying themselves like maybe like times five of the salaries of every of the other staff. I'm like, as a founder, you've not even achieved break even,
You
you've not
should
even
be the
achieved
one
product
suffering the
market fit,
most.
and then you already, I mean, you hear this one, that one. So it is very, very sad, and I hope that any founder that hears this and also have that kind of mindset. I cannot just disclose where, but I've heard his founder, talking about I can't wait to collect
That
raise
japa.
investor funds. Not even jackpot this around. They want to live lifestyle exactly. So at that point, I was not even in a place to make comment or pass comment. I just listen and just because it was not a conversation that was with me. I just heard. So and it is quite sad to hear some people with this kind of mentality or thought process. It's very, very sad. I mean, and it is something that is discrediting other people who are doing amazing things. So investors fraud is real, and then I just hope that very soon truth will overshadow whatever lie that is out there. Inolibatila kanosauko. Funny enough, that was the verse I was just, my brain was just repeating when I was coming on to this particular location today.
Wow.
That was just it. I didn't even, it just came. Wow.
Wow.
That's quite interesting.
Wow. Nice. Definitely the truth would overshadow darkness.
Yeah.
And yes, so what investor fraud is one thing, but another thing now is when people are building for investment. Personally, I being a founder, I believe that when you are taking investments or when you are taking funding, it's just for you to, double up. It's for you to, it's something, if you are building a scalable business, it's something that might take years to get to that stage, but you would still be able to if you already have injected enough capital into it. But there are some people that are now building, have the idea that I'm building to collect. It's like investment is the result of building. It's the goal of building. Instead of making income, making profit, they are now building for investment. I don't know if you get the question right. So what do you see to that as well?
That is misalignment, and they don't understand the vision or the mission of whatever they are working on and why they are even doing it at the first instance. So if you are a founder, so now I think everybody are just seeing being a founder, building startup as another way out of being unemployed or like a title.
Yeah.
Being a founder, being an entrepreneur is one of the hardest things that can ever happen to you. I see it as like an amana. It's a trust. Like, it's a responsibility. It's like leadership. It's like for some people, they will say it's like a calling. I did not choose this.
Yeah.
So it is. So if you are a founder and you have the thought process, opinion, belief that you are building to collect founders, investors, money, VC money, you need to reevaluate why you started in the first place. Maybe you do not belong in entrepreneurship. Maybe you just need to take a time and then think over it again, because purpose of entrepreneurship is to solve problems. Startup is just a model of solving problems. It's like I'm taking it little by little, step by step, stage by step. Do you understand? It's like a modular stage. Back then, we used to have people go all out in companies and all, but then startup is like the how do I put it?
The lean way to build.
You understand? Yeah. So lean is even like a model, like a methodology in building. Do you understand? It's like a framework. So, but then startup is in its own entirety, in its own sense, like building from small. Just like saying I want to start content creation, I'm starting with phone. And then I start with big camera. Then I start with
Studio.
different cameras. Then I start with studio.
Yeah.
So it's like
You
it's
become
like
Mr. Beast.
then you become a company and everything. Do you understand? So if you are building a startup because you want to collect money,
No, it's not like they are going that's why I say it's different from investor fraud. Though.
Yeah, it's different from investor fraud.
They are going to inject the money to personal need. But when they are building like the goal is investment. Then when you get some investment, inject it into the business is not making profit as it should. Then you go for another investment raise again. Then you inject it in the sense that the salaries are being paid, the business is expanding, but the business itself it's not making
profits and it's not growing.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying, that the person needs to reevaluate. First thing is the intention. Nia is the very, very first thing. You need to think, why am I even starting this? What problem am I even solving? So those are you can even call that person a what is it called them? Pitch deck founders, PowerPoint, because you believe that. I mean, the whole essence is I have tried to build this. Now is the time that I need help, and then for me to build this, help me scale this. You see when you see pitch decks, and then when you get to the part of their ask when they were raising funds, they do the breakdown. Product development, this one, marketing, operations, and the rest of it, depending on maybe talent and depending on whatever the startup is looking, to use the raise for. So if that particular person, the particular person is now doing that, okay, I just want to start raising funds, and then you are not pushing something. I mean, it's the whole thing that is questionable. The whole intention, the whole idea, the whole solution that they are packaging in PowerPoint and building and spending on, it is questionable, and then they need to reevaluate, they need to restart again. And then when they do, they should focus more on value, real solution than, and those are one of the issues that we eventually have when, say for example, we have a lot of founders who are beautiful pitchers. They can sell ice to Eskimos. You get?
Yeah.
They will sell sand to people in Kalahari Desert. So they are sweet talkers, sweet operators. Yeah. They'll stock their way, and then they'll raise these funds, and then they keep on burning. They're always in development. I heard of one particular person that was building OS for Africa, like mobile phone OS. Yeah. Instead of us using Android. He's been building since maybe 2016 or something.
Wow.
He has not finished building. So when they ask me, he's still building. So the person that was telling us was just like, there are people like that. They will keep on pitching, winning grants, raising funds, and they will still keep on building. So if there are some technology that are like deep tech that requires years.
Yes.
You understand? That requires years for development. Maybe it could be most of the time this one comes when it comes to all this health tech. They are developing
MRI machines, all those kind of things.
Maybe one gene technology, all those kind of things. You would hear
requires research,
or they are developed. If it's required research, deep tech like requires research.
Yeah,
that one is different. It's already said that for the next so years we are using this money, this raise to focus on research. But if you are just someone that is just burning with pivoting. I had they are always pivoting every race. After
we are pivoting to a new project, and based off of what we worked on before, and this is going to be the future technology.
So they are always pivoting every and raising money. So and those are one of the challenges, that because as a VC, as an investor, they have projected number of years that they're expecting their return on investment.
Yeah.
So and then you are coming and you are pivoting, and then everything will change. Business model will change, their expectations and everything. So it's one of those things that gives them, and this happens most time to early stage founders, first time early stage founders. So that clarity is one of those things. That is why I always emphasize that venture platform support, it is one of the most important things. Go through accelerators, go through incubators, use the opportunity to perfect everything, refine your ideas, restart all over, pivot at that stage. It's not when you have started raising funds. That's when you now start pivoting, and then you can pivot when you've raised funds. So market, like I said, market is
It's very, very dynamic.
so you can pivot. There's chance for you, but at the very core, use the available time, the available resources, the venture platform support you can find around, to perfect all of those, groundwork. And then it also affects the credibility. And be like, last time I invested in Africa, that startup pivoted like 3 times. So just pivoting. So it's important that we, as startup founders, as future founders, it's important that we do our assignment quite well, and then ensure that everything we do does not end up discrediting the hard work of other young people. Imagine before you raise your own fund that they say, no, I can't give my money to founders from Nigeria or Africa. If I don't have a very good experience with founders from Africa or Nigeria, you feel bad as well. So have that at the back of your mind, and then it would help you make better, smarter decisions.
I will have that at
I had that at the back of my mind too.
Yes, sir. So I'm also a founder, so I have to have that at the back of my mind. And one thing that we do here at the Double D podcast is that we are trying to bridge between the din and dunya. So there's no way we are going to call a guest. We are going to have a beautiful conversation just like the one we are having here that would not bring in the quote-unquote religion. So being a Muslim, how has it impacted being a site builder? I mean, there are things that you have your values that you cannot compromise, and you also have etiquettes that are building you and guiding you. So how has being a Muslim impacted your journey as a site builder?
Okay. So to begin, or to answer that particular question, I am a striving Muslim. Let's put
Everyone is a striving Muslim.
No, let's put it aside. Just say, this one sheikh, one grand mufti that I'm a striving Muslim. My own jihad is personal. I say every day is a struggle, to ensure that you're on the path of deen. It's maybe personally, every time I am in sujud or in ruku, I'm always praying to God that make deen very easy for me to practice, because the kind of life that we live in now is very, very difficult. You hear founder, because you're working in different time zone. Yeah, that's when a founder from another country will schedule a call with you 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. on Friday. It would you have to, like, where I work operations, before we used to start meeting, like the rescheduled meetings, to please, I'm not saying I'm the overly righteous and everything, but Friday, this also time to this also time is for me and my God. So I may try to make time to and then now back to the main question. That was just like a brief, what's it called? So how has it has really impacted me, my choices of where I work, the kind of startups I would be working with, or even providing my support with because of my faith and principles as well. So, ethics wise, kind of things I do, there's some things that Islamic ethics, values, and all, gambling,
The adult
a lot of
industry,
them, adult industry, and
power
all,
of wine, all this kind of stuff.
alcohol, and the rest of them. So, religious wise, it is, it has reservations for it, and it has my own personal belief as well. So I believe in ethics. Um, aside aside religion, I have personal values, ethics that I personally believe in. I have strong conviction in anything that would not cause another person harm, anything that would not cause another animal pain, anything that would not bring away the trust of another party to another party as well. So these are the kind of personal values, and it also helped me shape the kind of startups I was working in. And even when I transition properly into the VC, where I'll be putting my investment, the type of deals I'll be
Okay.
focusing on, and also, yeah. And as a Muslim, I try as much as possible to ensure that time for salat and all are always prioritized. If certain meetings can be moved, I would kindly request that it be moved to another time away from my time of my salat. So it's quite difficult when you're working in is with certain organizations and all,
Yeah,
and all,
definitely.
because you're like, you're requesting too much, are you the only one? Especially if you're not working with other Muslims
Data.
that are not as
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I'll be like, you start
You
hearing
too, you are
afar,
Muslim.
yeah, yeah, you used to be Muslims, or that one. Some
Yeah.
people will not even go for Jumat. And then, I mean, may Allah make it easy for them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but then it is very important that as Muslims, I should tell someone that everything that I am, everything that I have, is everything that I know is as a result of God Almighty. If He wants to take it away today, it is a blink of an eye, and it's all gone. You don't necessarily, I should tell, come for meeting, this one, down, down. If something happened today, maybe you just slipped on pure water nylon or banana peel, and then you lose your back, your spine. You cannot write, you cannot talk, you cannot do anything. You can find a wheelchair. All they will hear is,
Yeah,
we are
sorry.
sorry, severance package and everything, and then we wish you very well. They will send the amper once, and that's all. It's left to you and whatever you've done and your creator, because you are confined to a wheelchair. Even if you want to pray, it is in your heart. You can't even do it, the way you would have loved it. Or something happened, you lost your eyesight. Where do you want to read memo? Where do you want to go to? I mean, so a lot of other things that I just think that God has given you this. It is an amana. It is like it's a loan. So when the time comes for me to repay this particular, or to give account, that is one of those things that I always put at the back of my mind. Ah, so that's just like on the personal. So I also like encourage or talk to other people that I was a colleague of mine was sharing her struggles with me. She was like, whenever she works in big accounting, and also like whenever I come back from work, I'm always tired. I find it. I said, number one thing, your mind has a desire to make this prayer. You're already collecting, you're already receiving reward that you have thought about it, that you want to. The next thing you should do is Bismillah Rahman Rahim, Ahuzubillahir Minash Shaitanir Rajim, and Bismillah Rahman Rahim, then go and make ablution. So from that making ablution, every other thing would be easy for you. Just struggle. The moment it came to your mind, you're coming home from, you stay in mainland, you work in island, then you travel back, and then because you're traveling, you are traveling within Lagos, my brother. Then the moment you thought about it, that prayer. Sometimes I come back from work maybe around 9, I'll go to mosque. It's only me that is there. There's sometimes that there will not be lights. I will just use my torchlight, do my ablution, and then pray, and then leave. You understand? So it's a struggle. That's why I say it's a jihad. You strive, you struggle until you reach that stage where you say you feel control your time. Oh, they know that
Rubbish.
our oga no dey pick call, no dey do meeting for 1 p.m. or 12:30 or the time of Zoom
Then you
as
become the
free
site
and
manager.
Friday. But as long as you are still site manager, you still have to like adapt and then tailor and then try as much as possible. And then I used to tell people like this: the way you communicate, make them understand that I'm not the most righteous. I'm just a servant of God, and I'm doing everything possible to ensure that I'm closer to my God. Do you understand? So I'm only striving. If you could do this for me, this would mean so much more to me. And then it would encourage me to even do more good work for you here in this company that I work. Because this means a lot to me. And this means a lot to me. I'm only obligated to also do and add more value back. You had to me, I had to you. That's just, and the way you can add to me is to give me this, opportunity, this time, this free 15 minutes, my prayer time. And then that is how, if you communicate that, to maybe HR, your manager, or people that you work with, it should go a long way. So communication is also one of those, ways, Yorùbá máa ní àgbékalẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀. So to bá gbé kalẹ̀ to dey communicate the value, they should see reason. They should see reason with it, and then God make it easy for every striving Muslima and Muslim like
Yeah,
me.
we are all striving, to be honest. But what you said made me remember one of the companies I worked with. It was an Indian company. So when we do have meetings, that's why I think it's much easier when you are in a remote environment. Although they would tell me that when we are doing meetings, you cannot leave meetings. I'm on the back where you are calling. Hello, Abdul Batin, are you there? Hello, Abdul Batin, are you there? I will pray and come back. Oh, sorry. Network issue.
We are in Nigeria.
Network issue. I said, oh, I couldn't hear that. Probably it was the network. Okay, let's continue. Okay.
That 5 minutes.
I've prayed.
And that's
My mind is
taken
at
off.
peace. So, alhamdulillah for being a Muslim. I think
Alhamdulillah.
that's really, really inspiring. So, in case I get to work in a physical environment, I would let them know. I would use your communication tactics. So I'll use that. I'll put that at the back of my mind. So alhamdulillah, Ramadan is here already. So, and it's very, very important for us to make use of the month for our spiritual development, and also make sure that it does not affect our day-to-day activities, whether you are a site boy or you are a site manager, you are a builder, or you are someone that just stays at the site and looks. So you have to just make sure that it does not affect, or should I say, it does not have a major impact in your day-to-day activities. So how can you, or how do you personally make sure that during Ramadan you still stay at the best of your, how do I put it? You still stay at your best in both spiritually and both at work, at site.
So when it comes to that, like I've said before, you've already set a standard, an impression about yourself, that they know that, oh, during this person has a certain time frame at which this person goes to pray, and then meetings that would go beyond 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. You let them understand that this is during Ramadan period. There are other what's it called, religious rites and activities that you have to do. You are fasting, and then so if every other meetings can come in during the, every task and work can come in during the day, it would go a long way. So but for personally, for me, I try as much as possible to do time blocking.
Time blocking.
Yeah. So I already have like a certain time frame in my calendar that you cannot schedule a call. So if I share in my calendar, I cannot schedule a call within so period of time. Even if you request for time, I would, can we kindly reschedule to another time? And then for during Ramadan, it's going, fasting always takes it. You can't drink water, you can, another something. So I think Ramadan is not even Ramadan. Everybody knows that there's Ramadan. It's only if you are, even if you are straight to planet Earth, that you've not Now you know that Ramadan comes with a certain vibe.
Yeah.
Allah has just been so merciful that it makes even if you work with difficult boss, he or she would calm down. I think there's this fear of God that enters everybody's mind during Ramadan. Everybody calms down one way or the other. They just give you that free rein to manage things and all. So I think that particularly would make life very easy. But for personally, the most important thing is your zikir. Yeah, working. When I do my own zikir, I don't even say it out. It just
Yeah.
continuous repetition in my own mind and all. And then if your work might not allow you to do reading of the Quran, there's some people that want to complete the whole Quran within a certain time frame. Some want to continue finish up in maybe two during Ramadan, three during Ramadan, depends. So but then just try as much as possible to do the much you can between your close of hour and the next morning, so you have the whole evening and night to do work, acts of ibadah. And also there's no particular framework, I would say. There are just there's no like one statutory framework that is generally acceptable. Just look at your time, look at your work commitments, look at your your personal plans for Ramadan. I want to finish one Quran, to finish two Qurans. How do I work? And then try to fit it in and let them understand. And I believe that inshallah, Allah is going to make it very easy for each and every one of us.
Inshallah, we pray to Allah to make it easy for us and then to make the Ramadan a beneficial one for us, both me, you, and the ones that are watching us. So this has been should I say, roller coaster of conversation, which I'm really very, very much delighted. I've learned a lot because I'm also a founder. So this is an opportunity for me to also learn about site building and also become a better site boy. So, and also learn about, have this beautiful conversation that we just had. And also talk about the problems that we have in the Nigerian ecosystem. As you saw,
Powerless, don't try me for me.
So, I'm very, very much delighted at having you on the podcast. And before we sign off, can you give us a parting words? Give us parting words that we're going to hold at the back of our minds.
Parting words. Those are for the people that have made it. Those are for site managers and property owners. I know, but the site boy. One thing that I would love to share with people is that it's not motivation, it's not inspiration, it's just reality. Number one is be sincere with yourself. Be true to know thyself, be very real with yourself, be sincere with yourself, and then your intentions really matters. Intentions before any other thing. If your intention is not pure from the beginning, you always get it wrong. Be it anywhere in life, intention really matters. So have pure intentions, have at the back of your mind that intention really matters. And then one other thing is that God, as Almighty Allah, has provided us with a lot of beautiful things of life. He said, ask, request, and He would make them available to us. So if there is any assurance about that, I mean, why should you not just make use of the opportunity? And then this Ramadan also coming, so make use of this beautiful month of Ramadan to make requests from Almighty Allah about everything that you want. And then the most important thing is work hard and smart at the same time. I'm a very lazy person, so I work smart. The first thing I ask myself is, what's the fastest way, the most convenient way to solve this problem? So work smart and also work hard as well. And then beyond every hard work and everything, access to right people, access to right information, access to right network also matters. So those are those things that want each and everybody to remember and also hold tight. There are some people that God has given them that privilege, maybe due to birth or association and all, maybe school they went to and all. I mean, they have it quite easy. They just need somebody to call someone for them. But if you are not in that category, if you're a site boy, if you're a lapo,
Lapo, not nepo.
if you're a lapo boy like me, so pray that Almighty Allah makes easier affairs for you and put barakah in everything that you do. Yeah, so with that, I want to pray that Almighty Allah continue to make us steadfast in the path of Deen. There is this particular prayer from this particular verse from this ayah Amana Rasul. This Rabbana la tuhaizina inna zina awatana ربنا ولا تعامل ولا علينا إسرا كما موتعوا على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تعاملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. So thank you very much.
It's a pleasure having you. So that's beautiful word from a beautiful person. It's great having you on the show.
Pleasure is all my son. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam.